You're right there, Mark here from 6 Plus with another review of some giant models from TT Combat / Maxmini. Now it's been updated that they're actually on the Maxmini site. So I've been able to get hold of the final one out of the Kickstarter, which was the Colossal Trampler. So I've got the model here, but I just wanted to show it's on the website so you can actually have a gander and purchase one yourself if you missed it in the Kickstarter. So it's a very, very, very big model. Hopefully you can see that by the reference. So you got a little halfling, you got the giant, or standard giant, and you got big trampler. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna transition over to the small camera, and we're gonna show you what it looks like when you first grab it. Catch you in a second. So, as you can see here, we are now looking at the actual model. So you get given an MDF base to work on. Alright, so you don't have to use the MDF base if you don't want it. If you want to use different base, then it's fine. But it's nice that you do get a solid MDF base. It's quite the solid base to work with. Now, the actual model itself is in 6 parts. So let's start off with the torso. So this is going to be the torso, the head, and the upper shoulders and the upper arms. A lot of detail on there. Now this is before I've done any cleanup or any washing of the mold release off. So you want to do that every single time you get any form of resin models. But be careful when you're cleaning it. You don't want the dust getting in, you don't want to breathe it in. So there is a mold line along here, but luckily that is really out of sight. Just put a nice bit of sandpaper or a flat blade along it. The back of the blade, you'll scrape that right off. It's absolutely fine. There is no... I don't see any issues around the face, because that's one part I personally don't ever like cleaning up on models, is around the face, because if it's all detailed in, you don't want that breaking. You don't want to be carving that. I'm not the best at carving and shaping, so I'm really happy with how that face came out. A lot of detail around the bony protrude, like the top of the model. So you've got bones, you've got shields, you've got fur by the looks of it. More shields, you've got this dinosaur-y looking bony head here. Yeah. And that grin like I'm gonna do something. Then let's go crack on with the waist. So this is the waist, upper, both parts of the legs. There's a lot of detail in here. So there is mold line here, which I'm going to have to work on just to tidy it up so it blends in. So that's one thing you need to be aware of, but it does happen with resin models. You've got to be careful. All brands out there, whatever it is. So it's just along here. Okay, just double checking the rest. So there's plenty of detail around this model, as you can kind of see. We'll need to do a bit of cleanup around the cow. But there's so much fur, so much texture to work with. If it takes me 20 minutes or so to clean up the model, I can deal with that. It's one of these things when it comes to resin. But all the actual detail is still there, which is great. Like, genuinely, I'm really pleased with that. Then let's crack on with the Giants, their left arm. So it's got some form of pillar, like strapped into the fur. So a little bit of waste that you need to clean off. Obviously the feeds, tidy up the fingers. These ones here are 3 fingers and 1 thumb, which is quite an interesting take on the fantasy setup. And then it's wrapped in more fur or cloth. It's got a bit of jewellery, a bit of bling bling. Then let's crack on with probably one of the main focal points, and that is this club here. So, a lot of detail. That's really quite cool. A lot of like smashed in shields added in. Yeah, I'm really happy with that. Bits that I need to clean up here, but that's fine because that's the shield being crushed. That's really cool. Really liking that. It's really chunky and it's really sizable as well. Like genuinely, that's the size of my hand underneath it. That's really good. Really happy with that. Another pillar. So it's like the pillars are probably like greaves, the guards for the giant, the colossal. Then you've got the giant's left foot, unless I'm mistaken. Another pillar wrapped in, more fur, more like armor, like sheet bits of metal, just roped up. But this, I don't think this is fur. This would be like scaly hide of some sort by the looks of it, which is quite cool. There you go, get a bit closer. Nice bit of detail in the actual foot itself. I'm really pleased with that. Just a bit of clean up on the back. Yeah, that's spot on. And then here's the trampling foot. The amount of poor bodies and stuff been trapped underneath the foot. Got a hand wrapped around there. More protection. More armor. But yeah, that, I would say the worst bit of slippage, if you want to call it that, any, you know, bit of repair work, it's back here, out the whole model. So it's just along here, around this bit. That's it, bit there. So out the whole model, that's the only bit of major tidy up I got to do, and I'm really chuffed with that. Genuinely, as I said, resin, you can get very bad resin. Don't get me wrong, you can get very bad resin. But yeah, I'm really pleased with that. So I've got my little bath of hot soapy water beside me. So off camera, I'm gonna give each part a scrub. Gonna build it, gonna put it together, and then we'll come back in a little while. But through the power of video editing wizardy woo, it'll be a short transition. So I'll see you in a moment. And we're back after some cleaning and building. Now, before I say any much more, resin models, you do normally have to fill up some gaps. So there are going to be some visible gaps on this model, but other than that, it's gone together really, really well. So as I said about the mold slips before, I've gone around and cleaned them up the best I can. Other parts I'm just going to add a bit of wear and tear on. But the actual proportions of this model is really quite impressive. It is just shy from its base foot to the tip of the club, 11 inches short, 11 inches tall. And there's about 2.5 centimeters to an inch. So what, that's about, yeah, that's quite high. That's at least 27.5 centimeters tall, roughly. And it's just full of detail, full of detail, and everything slots together really, really quite nice. Like genuinely really quite nice. So there's a gap that I need to clean up down here. The only biggest gaps that I need to milliput is this leg here, between the rope and the actual leg. And a little bit back here. And the biggest one is here, along the lower back, the waist here, that I need to do some TLC. And there was a little bit of deformity, basically some of the actual slip. I was just like, well, let's just carve it in that as a break in the actual tankard. Other than that, I think I've tidied up a lot of it. I just need to tidy up a little bit in here. But I'm really, really chuffed with it. I'll just go around, tidy it up while I milliput these gaps up. But the actual model itself, Got some really nice extra bits underneath their foot. So just need to tidy up that little bit there. But it went together really, really, really well. Like, genuinely really well. There's a lot of character to this model. So I'm going to look forward to painting all these giants up. I need to sand that little bit up there. But it's not bad at all. As I said, just a bit of trim work, a bit of sanding, and filling it out. And just for retrospect, so a lot of you know of Warhammer and so on and so forth. Here's a Votan model. That's the kind of size that you're playing with, right? His head is the size of a Votan warrior. That's something I had to hand, alright? But he's a chunky boy, and that finishes off all the Colossals I've got and their Giants. So the next few videos will hopefully be showing what I'm going to do for the basing of these models and how I'm going to go about painting them and so on and so forth. But thank you for watching through to the end. Very much appreciated. Do hope you like this Trampler. If you do, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below. I want to see what people think. And links to the model is going to be in the description. Links to affiliates and social media are going to be down below as well. So please don't be afraid. Give them a gander. See what you think. But as always, thank you so very, very much for watching through. It means the absolute world to me. And I hope to catch you in the next one. Take care.